Hardware and Garden Stores. So, we're rolling. Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores brings you Garage Logic Podcast number 1304, May 8, 2024. 90 degrees on this day in 1874. 28 degrees on this day in 1960. Kids will be swimming any day. You know that. And if you own a lake home or you have the old swimming hole out back with the rope swing with the tire on the end of it, you got to get a hold of my friends at Aquaside. They've been keeping swimming beaches and swimming areas free of weeds and algae for more than 60 years with products made right in White Bear Lake. Products are easy to use. They work quickly, and they're registered with the EPA and DNR. They're safe. Don't let weeds overtake your lake or pond this summer. Call Aquaside, describe exactly what you think the problem is, what you're looking at. They'll help you identify the problem in your place. It's going to look great all summer long. Call Aquaside at 1-800-328-9350 or go to aquaside.com.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Height in the newsroom, and of course, the Rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
Chris.
Hi, Joe.
Have all your Nicole Mitchell stuff ready, but I'm going to do something first. But I want you to be ready.
I'm ready.
So you don't have to say, give me a minute. That's the voice of a gal named Cindy who used to call Sports Talk years ago. She was just an ardent Timberwolves fan, knew more about the Timberwolves than anyone, maybe even Patrick. And I think we've lost her. I hope I'm not prematurely saying that, but it's too bad she's not around, if she's not around.
Because she would also email, wouldn't she?
Yeah, she was just a great gal who she was a nurse, I think, by trade.
Oh.
And she'd go into room by room by room at making her rounds and then turn on the game in each room to make sure she didn't miss anything. Right. That's true. She told us that. But before we get to Nicole Mitchell, you know, when you got up today and you went outside, did you say to yourself, what a lovely day?
I did, actually.
I did too. I go out and had my morning office and I thought, this is just gorgeous. What a gorgeous spring day. Mm-hmm. And then I began putting material together for this award-winning podcast. Mm-hmm. Well, second place.
What award did we
nominated?
Well, we're number one in Anguilla.
There you go. Yep.
Enough for me.
Yeah. And I just thought it's just so lovely, the greens and the blues. And then I began to assemble. And then every day I check the Drudge Report. All the Drudge Report is a bulletin board on which stories are tacked from around the world. And here, and I've never done this before, but here's what we're dealing with today.
Lay it on us. I can take it.
Humans on bird flu watch.
Uh-oh.
All right. Trump's private life exposed in trial. Says he does not share bed with Melania. All right. Survey. 38% have never felt more inspired at work than they do now.
Uninspired. John,
uninspired. What did I say?
You said inspired.
Uninspired.
Because I am inspired.
I know you are.
Thank you.
Shock claim. Fish are shrinking.
Uh-oh.
All right. World's record-breaking temperature streak continues.
Doom.
West Virginia named most obese state.
West Virginia?
Mm-hmm. Nearly a third of Americans in constant pain.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
We got the heating pad on right now.
Musk says he listens to podcasts about the fall of civilization to get to sleep. RFK Jr. says worm ate part of his brain and then died inside his head.
Yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I got that in the news.
Oh, yeah. Rifle-armed robot dogs now being tested by Marine special operators.
Got that in the news, too.
Good. I want you to. Court open to Satanic Temple's challenge to Boston prayer denial. And that's
what?
Yeah. Court open to Satanic Temple's challenge to Boston prayer denial.
Oh, wow.
And then you think, but wait a minute. When I got up and I looked outside, I went outside.
Birds were chirping.
And you know what? To top it off, the papers were even there.
Wow.
Did you get a new paper delivered?
No, but I was talking to him the other day, and I said, well, can't you reverse the route once in a while? Have us be first. Somebody's getting the papers at 8 o'clock. And he goes, yes, they are. I said, well, reverse it once in a while.
First shall be last, and last shall be first.
That's what we've been operating on.
Could you, I know you're a part-time psychiatrist. I wondered if you could help me out here, Sue.
Sure.
How does a guy deal with the dichotomy of a beautiful day and then the incredibly depressing headlines? How do you make, I can't ignore the news. I wish I could. How do I make those two worlds work together? What do you do?
Well, we need the wisdom of Solomon for that. I have no answer. I guess you treat it the way we do, with somewhat a glint of skepticism.
Okay.
For example, I don't believe fish are shrinking, and if they are, I don't give a bleep.
They probably have evolved. They got bigger and shrunk over billions of years.
World's record-breaking temperature streak continues. I don't buy it. The hottest temperature ever recorded in the United States, you'd think it would be recent. It was in 1904 or something. That was the other day I noted that. Nearly a third of Americans in constant pain. I don't buy it.
Well, I do.
Well, if they are, I mean,
Constant. I mean,
I don't care that Trump doesn't sleep in the same bed as Melania.
Yeah, anybody that's been married, as long as we have,
he must snore a lot.
And RFK's got a worm in his brain. What am I supposed to do? I'm sorry, pal. That's life.
So, basically, you're saying pick and choose your battles.
Well, exactly. And West Virginia named most obese state. Well, the entire country has an obesity problem. The answers are very clear on how to avoid that. So that isn't a big deal. Humans on bird flu watch. I'm going to choose to be worried about that one because I think bad things happen to you if you get the bird flu. Your eyes start bleeding and you get worms in your brain.
Yeah, but how often are you going to think about that during the day?
Not a lot.
Okay.
Not a lot.
Yeah, and we don't think of the bird flu as striking city areas.
No.
High populated
areas. It says 38% have never felt more uninspired at work. Well, I feel inspired at work. So that one doesn't bother me.
Let's go.
Yeah, more so than I've ever been.
Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
I would say I'm inspired at the airport.
And I'm also going to, okay, so there's two things on here. I guess I'm answering your question, Kenny. Yes, you must pick and choose what you're going to allow to bother you. Okay, I'm going to be bothered by I have to be on a bird flu watch. We used to have a song called Bird Flu coming.
I was told we can't play that anymore.
Oh.
Because it's a Johnny Cash song.
All right. And then I am choosing to be worried about rifle-armed robot dogs being tested by the Marines. That
sounds like,
that frightens me.
That one's scary.
That's a
Something
little,
out
that's
of
a little
South
frightening.
That's on the radar screen.
It
Sorry,
is.
sorry,
John
Chris.
should get the horn for scary. Yeah.
Whoops.
Joe, I saved something, a tweet from yesterday from a site called The Daily Stoic.
Okay.
And it's 5 habits that are killing your productivity. And I wanted to run these by you. I had no idea that the opportunity would come up this soon. Number 1, the habit that kills your productivity. Do you suffer from this? You don't wake up early enough.
I could be guilty of that.
Number 2, you focus on what's outside of your control.
No.
Number 3.
Wait, stop right there.
Okay.
Most of what I just read on those headlines, they're outside our control.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So therefore, we shouldn't
The
let
hell
them
with
kill.
it. No.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't worry
Good.
about
I
it.
like that. Means that's a very stoic thing to say.
Right.
Number 3, you're in the wrong crowd.
Boy, I'll say.
You're in the wrong
Look at
Number
this
4.
crowd.
Look at Sorry.
Number 4, you don't know how to say no.
I do know how to, but it's
Boy,
taken
do
a
you ever.
long time to learn
Yeah.
how to.
You get the initial no.
with you, we get the initial no.
Get the initial no.
Then
Chris
you go to
got
work
it
on
today, and he overrode it because it was only the initial no.
Right.
By the way, have you achieved
I have
anything?
not heard back from her yet.
All right.
And then finally, number 5, you think you'll live forever.
No, I don't think that.
Okay.
I wish I could, but I don't.
You came in about half.
Let's go to Nicole Mitchell. She was charged with burglary, entering her stepmother's home. It's getting to be, 2 weeks ago now. And she promptly returned to the Senate where
Getting hugs
and pats on the cheek. And aren't you special? And God love her. I hope everything works out in her life. But she clearly was up to something nefarious.
where her mother told Tom Hauser that she was fearful of Nicole.
The stepmother claims that she's fearful, and she initially found Nicole Mitchell, a state senator, in the stepmother's bedroom, and then somehow Mitchell, dressed all in black with a burglary outfit on, was then found in the basement, and she was arrested. And what has led me to believe that the decline of moral and ethical integrity is so pronounced, and it's not just Nicole Mitchell, it's everywhere you look. But this happens to be our most current and fresh example. And her decline of moral and ethical integrity is merely cloaked in this theatrical process of holding an ethics hearing. That gives her moral and ethical decline some formality, as though doubt might be introduced to her decline of moral and ethical integrity. And yesterday began the ethics hearing, and we have audio from it.
This is her attorney.
Her attorney is named Bruce Ringstrom Jr.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Ringstrom, was your client arrested on April 22nd, 2024 and booked into Becker County Jail?
Probably yes. And why do I say probably?
Well, I'd like to know why you said probably.
That was the clip.
Okay.
And then it cut out. And then the other piece of audio we have from Mr. Ringstrom Jr. is this 90-second piece from yesterday.
If the 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments to the Constitution mean anything, then the senator's interests in the criminal case are more important at this particular time than any political inquiry or palace intrigue. Even asking the question, why would you now invoke the 5th Amendment, invites an answer that may require her to waive the 5th Amendment. We acknowledge that the criminal charge Senator Mitchell is facing is serious. That's why we represent her. For us, prioritizing her interests in that case is an easy decision. Now, of course, for an elected public figure, there are competing interests. But the senator is taking our advice and invoking her right to remain silent. Senator Mitchell, therefore, pleads the 5th Amendment to every single question, however innocuous or theoretically collateral it may be. I am saying it for her now, and she won't say it again for the remainder of this hearing. This is a blanket invocation. Senator Mitchell will be answering no questions, period. Likewise, we as Senator Mitchell's counsel aren't going to answer questions that would by their nature require us to betray work product. That is to say, the thinking and strategy that makes up a defense. When we tried to discern the manner in which this body would conduct this hearing, what we found is that such full-fledged hearings like this are rare.
Well, what can I add to that gibberish? Again, the decline of moral and ethical integrity is allowed to continue to decline, aided and abetted by crackpots. No, not crackpots.
People who don't follow
lawyers like this guy, who engage in the theater of these hearings as though the hearings somehow trump the charges. That if you can throw enough legalese at this and plead the 5th Amendment often enough, you're somehow going to come out the other end not being guilty of anything, much less moral or ethical decline.
Was pun intended there?
Which one was the
You said
pun?
Trump the charges.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
no, it wasn't actually.
Okay, gotcha. Just want to make sure.
But it's pathetic.
Yep.
But the human condition in this country has become pathetic to many degrees, and this is pathetic. And I think she has going for her barely the fact that she's a woman. That places her in somewhat a protected class, even though not much of one, because she happens to be a white woman. Look how the mayor of Dolton, Illinois, clings to her job as mayor, even though she's clearly corrupt.
Yeah.
And then basically she's just full-time ordering the people of Dolton, Illinois. How dare you challenge my standing here in this great city of Dolton? I'm not going to allow you to tear down the power of a black woman in her role as a protector of the Constitution and civil rights here for the people of Dolton, Illinois. And excuse me, I've got to hurry up because I got a $500 hair appointment that you're going to pay for. It's all BS. Everything we're facing is just BS. And Mitchell is showing us nothing. Wouldn't you have a lot more respect for her if she stood up and said, look, I broke into the place. I'm a little messed up at the time. I'm trying to get my head on straight. I don't think I'm going to use the word appropriate. And you can foghorn me because the word has been destroyed. But she could say, it's absolutely not appropriate for me to be serving in the Senate right now. And I would say, thank you. That's to be congratulated.
If the majority wasn't being decided by one vote, would the actions be the same?
I think it would be different.
How narcissistic do you have to be to not have any shame over that incident? I wouldn't be able to live with myself.
And again, it's not just her. Well, who's the senator in New Jersey? His house is full of gold bars and gifts from foreign countries, and he denies everying. Then you got Cuellar and Menendez. You got Cuellar in Texas, who promised the world to an oil company or something, and he's denying it. It's everywhere. It's everywhere you look.
I think she's just trying to get her life right. Remember that excuse when nobody gets in trouble?
I'm trying to get my life right. Trying to get my life right.
Yeah. Honesty is for the poor and the dumb, evidently.
Deny.
And her DFL brothers and sisters have nothing to be proud of. They're acting in concert with this. They're trying to protect the one vote majority. The session's drawing to a close. They can't risk not having their way.
And can I just say something that might ruffle some GL feathers? But if this had been a Republican that had done this, I think my sense is that the Republicans would be acting the same way right now in protecting that person. I'd like to think differently, but I don't trust anybody that.
No, I'm not going to argue with you. I don't think it'd be any different.
And
the
how
third
are we?
Rail, this is another example of the third rail isn't there for you. They love this power. It's a great gig. Got a great pension. You know, the whole deal's great. A lot of time off. It's you get a little badge, and it's great. And you get a parking spot, and
under the table freebies.
Oh yeah. So it's just.
This is going to sound silly, but go to Sunday's paper if you get a chance. Look at the comics page and read Pearls Before Swine.
Yeah, I never read that one.
Everything you just said in the last 30 seconds, he encapsulates perfectly in a very funny comic strip.
Really?
Pearls Before Swine this past Sunday.
All right.
Well, you've got me depressed. What we need is a real good, solid GL common sense candidate to represent us.
Well, you know what, Kenny? We just happen to have one.
Don't give it away yet. Don't give it away.
I thought it was it going to be given away on the spot today?
It will. Yes. Coming up. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
On the spot. I wonder what it could be.
You guys are really good at this.
I've got 35 years under my belt. I still have no idea what I'm doing.
In the failed academy, which I blame for much of this, we discover that the Columbia Law School students want their final exams canceled in the name of Palestine.
That's so awesome.
In a recent letter, the student editors of the Columbia Law Review made a public call for the school to cancel the semester's remaining exams and give all students passing grades for their work throughout the semester.
Nice.
Don't you wish you had that when you were in school, Rook?
Let's go, baby.
We believe that canceling exams would be proportionate response to the level of distress our peers have been feeling, the unnamed students wrote in an open letter, and the country continues to burn out of control. I mean, ideologically and technically and theoretically and everything else. If I had a big time law firm, I'd be on the lookout to never hire one of these kids. But what difference does it make anymore?
Right.
They'd be defending the likes of Nicole Mitchell.
The plea comes after Columbia on April 30 authorized NYPD to clear out trespassers who violently and forcibly took over the school's Hamilton Hall and smashed windows and trashed furniture while at it. And yet these law schools describe the police's action as violence that is irrevocably shaken many of them and the majority of our classmates. You're telling me that the majority of Columbia law students who were admitted to a program with a 12% acceptance rate are unable to do their work amidst political upheaval? And for some reason, my New York Post printing of this story ended right there. But perhaps that's all I need to know.
Yeah, there's just another couple paragraphs.
That's really all I need to know.
You said it all.
Yeah.
You could leave this on under me.
All right.
Well, I tell you that